Men, if you're over 50 and you're waking up at night to use the bathroom, this isn't just an inconvenience. It's a warning sign that something is wrong with your prostate. And if you ignore it, it will only get worse. More nighttime trips, weaker flow, that constant feeling your bladder isn't empty, and in the future, the risk of serious conditions, including prostate cancer. Why should you watch this video until the end? Because I'm going to share 3 simple habits that are scientifically proven to reduce symptoms, help you sleep through the night, and protect your prostate from dangerous changes. This isn't theory, and it's not an ad for miracle pills. These are methods I've seen work for my patients for years. Stay until the end, because the 3rd habit will surprise you, and it might completely change the way you think about men's health. And here's what's surprising. Even though these symptoms disrupt sleep, work, and daily life, most men still believe it's just a normal part of getting older. As men get older, we start to see our health differently. We might notice we run slower than we did at 30, or that our hair has turned gray. And somewhere inside, we accept it, well, I'm older now. It's normal. The same goes for getting up at night to use the bathroom, for a weak stream, for difficulty starting to urinate. Many men see these as just part of the deal, like they're an unavoidable chapter in the book of aging, something you just have to put up with. But think about it. Would you accept having a headache every single day or suddenly losing part of your vision without trying to fix it? Of course not. You'd go to a doctor, find out the cause, and do something about it. So why, when it comes to the prostate, do we suddenly decide this is just the way it is? The idea that prostate problems are an inevitable male fate after 60 is a dangerous myth. Dangerous because it keeps men from seeking help, making them wait until things get critical. In my years of practice, I've met plenty of men who came to see me only when their symptoms were making daily life miserable. They all said the same thing. I thought it was just my age. But age is not a life sentence. Yes, the body changes, but you can work with those changes. You can slow the process down, and in many cases, you can make things better. That's why I want you to think of your prostate like any other vital organ. If it's sending you warning signs, you need to respond. And the myth that all men go through this, and there's nothing to be done, it's time to leave that behind. Let's take a closer look at what the prostate actually is. It's a small gland, about the size of a walnut, but its importance to a man's health is huge. The prostate sits right below the bladder, and running through its center is a thin tube, the urethra, which carries urine out of the body. Imagine a small rubber ball with a thin plastic straw running through it. When the ball is small and soft, the straw lets water pass through easily. But if that ball starts to swell and harden, it begins to squeeze the straw. The water still flows, but slower, thinner, with interruptions. That's essentially what happens with the prostate. When you're young, it's soft, small, and barely noticeable. But with age, due to hormonal changes, it gradually starts to grow. The main factor here is a shift in testosterone levels and the balance between male and female hormones in the body. And here's the key point. The prostate has very limited space to grow. It can't just expand outward, so it grows partly toward the urethra, squeezing it. That pressure is what causes the familiar symptoms: difficulty starting urination, a weak stream, interruptions, the feeling that the bladder never fully empties, and sometimes even pain or burning. But there's another detail many men don't realize. The prostate isn't just a valve around the urethra, it also produces a special fluid that's part of semen. When it becomes inflamed or congested, it affects not only urination, but also reproductive health, overall well-being, and even your energy levels. So when the prostate is enlarged and inflamed, multiple systems in the body suffer at the same time. That's why I always say, ignoring its warning signs means turning a blind eye to a whole chain of problems, and those problems will only get worse if nothing is done. Now that we understand what's happening inside, here's the most important thing: this is not a life sentence. Yes, as you age, the risk of prostate issues does increase. Yes, changes in the body are inevitable, but that does not mean you have to accept them and just live with the discomfort. In medicine, there are 2 kinds of situations: the ones we can't change and the ones where we can make a big difference. With the prostate, this is the second kind. Its health is heavily influenced by your lifestyle, your habits, and the way you treat your body. I've seen men well into their 70s come to me with complaints about constant nighttime wake-ups, a weak stream, and the feeling of never fully emptying their bladder. And just a few months later, after making a few simple changes, they came back smiling, saying, "Doctor, I feel alive again. I sleep through the night. I have energy and motivation again." That's the good news. You have influence over how your prostate works. This isn't magic. It's a combination of proven, science-based actions. And today, I'm going to share 3 of them with you, simple, yet surprisingly effective. The first thing I want to talk about is water. Yes, it sounds basic. We hear "drink more water" so often that we almost tune it out. But the secret here isn't the amount, it's the timing. If you drink very little during the day, your urine becomes more concentrated, darker, with a stronger smell. It contains more substances that irritate the bladder and prostate. It's like watering plants not with clean water, but with water mixed with sand over time. It starts to damage the roots. But there's another extreme, men who try to catch up on their water intake in the evening. The result? Your bladder works overtime all night, and you keep getting up to use the bathroom. The smart hydration principle is simple. Drink most of your fluids in the morning and afternoon, and after about 6 p.m., cut back to a minimum. Just small sips if your mouth feels dry. This reduces the load on your bladder at night and gives you a chance for full, uninterrupted sleep. I remember a 68-year-old patient. He used to get up 5 times a night. We simply adjusted his drinking schedule, and within a week, he said, "Doctor, now I wake up at most once. Sometimes I sleep through the night." It's a miracle. But it wasn't a miracle, it was physiology. The second habit is a light walk after meals. No running, no gym, no marathons. Just 10 to 15 minutes of easy walking after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Why does this matter for your prostate? Every meal raises your blood sugar. If you just sit or lie down afterward, that sugar stays high for longer. Frequent high spikes in blood sugar cause chronic inflammation throughout the body. And chronic inflammation is one of the biggest enemies of your prostate. When you walk, your muscles start using glucose for fuel, and your blood sugar levels even out. It's like releasing excess pressure in a system. Everything starts to run smoother and more efficiently. A study in the journal Diabetes Care showed that 3 short walks after meals were more effective for blood sugar control than 1 long workout during the day. And the bonus, you don't need any special gear or preparation. Just put on comfortable shoes and walk around the block. I know a man named Robert, 63. He used to sit in his armchair and watch TV after dinner. When he started going for a 15-minute walk with his wife after meals, he not only slept better and reduced nighttime urges, but also lost nearly 11 pounds in 2 months. And all of that without dieting, just from walking. The third habit is the most unusual and perhaps the most personal. I call it natural prostate cleansing. It might sound unfamiliar, but there's nothing mysterious about it. We're talking about a normal physiological process, ejaculation. Researchers at Harvard University conducted a massive study. For almost 20 years, they followed more than 30,000 men. They found that those who ejaculated about 21 times per month or more had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer. Why does this work? It's simple. The prostate isn't just a ring around the urethra. It's also a gland that produces a special fluid for semen. When it's not emptied regularly, dead cells, microorganisms, and inflammatory components can build up in that fluid. Regular ejaculation helps literally flush the prostate ducts, removing what could otherwise trigger inflammation or tissue damage over time. And here's the important point. From a health perspective, it doesn't matter whether this happens with a partner or on your own. The key is regularity. I know that for many older men, this topic might feel awkward, especially if you grew up in an environment where it wasn't discussed. But we're talking about health, and there's no place for embarrassment here. It's as natural for the male body as walking or breathing. Each of these 3 habits is beneficial on its own. But the real power comes when you combine them. Smart hydration reduces nighttime bladder load and helps you sleep through the night. Walking after meals fights inflammation and keeps your metabolism healthy. And natural prostate cleansing keeps the gland healthy from the inside, preventing congestion and tissue damage. It's like 3 sides of the same defense. Remove one and the protection isn't as strong. But apply all three together, and you create conditions where your prostate faces less irritation, less inflammation, and more support. I've seen men who started with just one habit, then added the second and third, and told me, it's like I've taken control of my body again. And that feeling, that's exactly the goal of these recommendations. Before we finish, I need to say something very important. No matter how beneficial these habits are, they do not replace regular medical checkups. Yes, smart hydration, walking, and natural cleansing can greatly improve your quality of life, but they are not a substitute for diagnosing serious conditions. Every man over 50 should see a urologist at least once a year. This includes a PSA, prostate-specific antigen, blood test, and a digital rectal exam. These procedures are simple, take just a few minutes, but can literally save your life by detecting dangerous changes early. I know many men avoid doctors because of fear, embarrassment, or simply because they feel fine. But disease can develop quietly, without obvious symptoms. And early detection always gives you the best chance for a full recovery. Over the years, I've seen dozens, even hundreds of men come to me looking tired, frustrated, and defeated. They were worn down by constant nighttime wake-ups, the feeling of never fully emptying their bladder, and daily discomfort. When they started implementing these three habits, the changes were small at first. But after a couple of months, they would come back as different people. Their faces looked fresher, their mood was better, their energy was back. And most importantly, they felt in control of their bodies again. Now I want to hear from you. Which of the three habits surprised you the most? Which one will you start today? Let me know in the comments. I read them and try to reply personally. If you found this video helpful, the best way to say thanks is to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new content on men's health. And please share this video with someone who might need it, your husband, brother, father, or friend. Sometimes, hearing the right information at the right time can truly change a life.